and make those embers glow. I'm on my way, and I don't skip a beat. I can't help it, I've got happy feet. So good, I do what I want and it's understood. There's no stopping me when I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. I'ma do me. You know what I mean. I'm on fire. I'm feeling glad there's a spark in my soul. Feel my heart go zing. I'm clapping my hands and I'm pulling these strings. No stopping me when I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. I'ma do me. I'ma do me. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm on fire. Yes, I am. I'ma do me. I'ma do me. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. I'm on
I'm steady walking like I got 3 commas in my bank account, living loud. So get your cameras out. I'll probably do the same thing if I was you. Looking at me now, now. Put up your lights and keep them flashing. Don't ever put them down, down, down. Look at me now. Look at me now. Look at me now. Good God, I'm looking sweet. Right now I'm feeling like a slice of heaven, and you wanna sink your teeth in me. And the way that I move my feet, it's like I got this whole world spinning round to the rhythm of my heartbeat. Put up your lights and keep them flashing. Don't ever put them down, down, down. Look at me now. 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 I feel so good. I feel so money. Look at me now. So good. I feel so money.
I can't seem to focus, and you don't seem to notice I'm not here. I'm just a mirror. You check your complexion to find your reflections all alone. I had to go. Can't you hear me? I'm not coming home. Do you understand? I've changed my plans, 'cause I'm in love with my future. Can't wait to meet her. And I'm in love, but not with anybody else. Just wanna get to know myself. I know supposedly I'm lonely now. No, I'm supposed to be unhappy without someone, but aren't I someone? You're so handsome, but I know better than to drive you home. 'Cause you'd invite me in, and I'd be yours again. But I'm in love with my future, and you don't know her. And I'm in love, but not with anybody here. I'll see you in a couple years.
It's been a little while since I've looked in your eyes and walked that bridge to the other side. Mama says it's gonna get cold in the night, but if I picture you, then I'll be alright. I am ready. I am ready for you to be here. It's been a little while since I held your hand, so my arms won't stretch to your distant lands. Give me every person in the whole wide world, and I'll pick you out in a second, girl. I am ready. I am ready for you to be here. For you.
Yes, finally it is here. BICE Institute Advanced Implant Residency. This 6 days of advanced learning is composed of 3 of the most highly sought after hands-on program. 1. Immediate anterior workshop. 2. Immediate molar workshop. 3. Advanced sinus grafting, the lateral window approach. These courses have been massively updated and upgraded. Each course will take you in depth from fundamental philosophy of concept to breakdown of each of my very own surgical technique and their clinical applications. These include extensive lectures, hands-on exercises, and live surgery discussions. Each participant will receive step-by-step breakdown instructional videos on each of my own surgeries. The entire workflow from consultation, record gathering, digital planning to surgical execution will be covered in depth. This course is intense. It is designed with one goal in mind. That is to enable you to implement immediate therapy and advanced sinus grafting into your own practices. Seats are limited. See you soon. Hello, we're live once again. Today is episode 24. So can somebody give me a thumbs up? Audio, visual, all okay here? Please let me know. I'll be sipping my coffee a little bit. Happy long weekend to everybody. It's been quite the week for me and Bernard. We finished off our last of the clinical work at our current clinic, Crystal's Vancouver Implant Centre, for 12 years. And this coming week, starting tomorrow, we'll be moving. So yeah, so it's kind of sad and excited and mixed feeling and mixed emotion all together. So okay, awesome. My phone is a little bit laggy here. All good. Oh, Bernard's joining here too. Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay, excellent. Okay, Tan. Like I want to tell you guys something. Like when I click on this and you see, I know exactly who this is, and there's when I click like this, it says just a Facebook user. How this works is when I invite the group members, like in our main post, you go to Facebook, and there it says Ecamm Live. There's a link that you click, and if you allow the Ecamm Live to use your identity, okay, like your user, a photo and a name, then I'll be able to post you guys like this here, right? See, I know Tan, right away, rather than me guessing. Guessing right here. So next time you guys log in, do that. It's more fun because at least that way I know right away who the usual suspects are, right? Okay. Who's this right here? It says, I think we just lost 3 years of our lives from the stress. Who is that? See, don't know. Okay. I think it's maybe Bernard, right? Okay. So excellent. So today's topic is a little bit interesting, right? Me and Bernard last week, just a Saturday, yesterday, we're finishing off our last procedure. Actually, Bernard got to do the last surgery on a patient, and then we're visiting our new clinic, because we wanted to know what's going on. As you can see, if you guys saw our vlog, we're still not finished, right? We gotta move in a weekend. We're still not finished, right? But we're talking and we're reminiscing, and I was thinking, what should I talk about today? And I decided to do a little bit of the experience I've gained over the last 25 years as an implant dentist, but more importantly, developing implant practice, right? Because over the last couple of years, I've been getting a private message and some of the questions, and some younger doctors who wanted to follow kind of like my footstep, like my blueprint. They wanted to know. So I decided that maybe I'll share that with some of you, right? Because implant dentistry is kind of interesting, isn't it? Right? It's not really a specialty, but in some way maybe it should be, right? So there are a lot of you out there who are general dentists, but want to kind of develop your own implant practice within your practice. So hopefully some of the experience I've gathered over the years and some of the tips that I can give you, hopefully that'll be helpful. Okay, all right, so let's go on. Let's have lots of fun. Okay, all right. Hey, Anis, see that? Anis, he allowed Ekem to do this. So that's why I see his face right there, right? It's more fun. I don't have to guess who's making comments, right? And also today, guys, there's no rule. I have the good news is that you can ask me anything today. Today's totally uncensored, totally live. But there's one bad news. I cannot give you C credit for today's segment because I'm not really teaching you anything. So we'll be basically, chit-chatting and, I mean, we will discuss something important, but it's just not clinical. So I cannot really give you guys a C credit. Hope you guys don't mind, okay? All right, so let's go into this right here. All right. I should go picture in picture right here, okay? All right, so hope you guys can see me here. So this is our topic today, right? This is our topic today, and feel free to ask questions, right? What you want to know. I'll share everything that I can with you. Okay? Yeah. Oh, I love your comments. I find that because we're gathering regularly, right? You see, even though a lot of you I haven't met yet, but we're like good friends, right? Like buddies, and you guys are becoming more freely, posting and sharing your thoughts. So I really, really appreciate it, right? Okay, so here we go. Okay, so this was one of the questions that I got about a year ago, 2 years ago. Somebody texted me and said, Dr. Kwon, I mean, it was a long question, but the essence was this: Dr. Kwon, what made you decide to specialize in implant dentistry, right? Because as you know, my background is general dentist. I don't have any specialty. I don't have a master's degree. Bernard has a double degree in embryology and cell biology, and he has a master's in teaching. He's well decorated. I'm not. I'm not even the most educated person in my family. My wife is, Mrs. Kwon, Ginny. She's my wife. She's studying PhD, right, in art therapy. So, I just have my undergrad dental degree. I'm a general dentist. But of course, I got into implant dentistry quite early, and there's a saying, right? There's a saying. Sometimes a man does not choose his profession, but the profession chooses the man, right? And for me, I think it was the beginning, but also the destiny. Long story short, during my 4th year, I was finishing up my requirement, because back then at UBC, we had a requirement that I need to fulfill in order to graduate dental school. It's my 4th year, and the only requirement that I was missing was a 3-unit bridge, right? And I was working on this young girl who was missing a front tooth. She was like 3rd-year art student, and I was preparing a lateral tooth, the abutment, and I accidentally perforated it because it was a young tooth and a big pulp, and I saw a red dot, and gosh, so I had to start a root canal therapy, and I finished the prep and got it done. But that really bothered me a lot. That really, really bothered me. My classmates said that, don't worry, Mark, shit happens, good thing it didn't happen in your real world, it happened in dental school, so you're protected, right? But I felt so bad for this young girl. I felt like I caused irreversible damage, and I just couldn't sleep for the next few days. And I remember the movie, right? Every night, Clarice in the cop, Silence of the Lamb, she hears the silence of the lamb of the crying, right? Crying. She wakes up in the middle of the night, and she wanted to capture this killer so that she can rescue this girl who was captured, so that her nightmare, the lamb crying, will go away. Well, that's how I felt. Okay, maybe not that extreme, that dramatic, but I felt like I need to learn implant dentistry so that I never ever have to cut a virgin tooth ever again, right? So that was a bit of a happening, and that led to me, as soon as I graduated, I wanted to know about implant dentistry. And the first job that I got from Dr. Andrew Chang rest in peace, he gave me encouraged me to incorporate implant dentistry into our practice, right? So I placed my first implant, believe it or not, 3 months out of school. No formal training. Evening sales, pitch. Placed my implant in a block of wood, and he and we purchased the first implant system together. So that's how I started, right? So if that, sometimes all the wrong things has to happen for the one right thing to happen, and for me, that was it, right? Maybe it was meant to be. If I didn't perforate that tooth, maybe I would have never really thought about going to implant dentistry. Maybe I would have, but not that immediately right after I graduated dental school, right? So that's my story. Everybody has a story, right? Another question was when was the most difficult time during my career, right? I guess I can interpret this in some ways, right? The most difficult time during my implant career was when I first opened up the Implant Center. That was year 2008. I graduated in 97, right? Dental school, and then I worked as a general dentist, and my implant practice started to grow, but it was mostly within my practice. I didn't really have a referral base. It was basically I limited my Thursday and Friday as the time to do surgery, right? And the other days I did a little bit of general dentistry, and I was also doing quite a bit of orthodontics, during the first 10 years. And then in 2007, I decided to commit myself to start from a scratch implant-only center. Okay, yeah. Actually, the story is I had to choose. Do I want to do ortho or do I want to do implant? I was doing implant dentistry 2 days a week. And the other 2 days I was doing orthodontics, and 1 day general dentistry, and I had 3 associate doctors who was doing the rest of the general dentistry. We had a fairly large general practice, and then I decided to do whether do I want to do ortho only or implant only. But I enjoyed implant dentistry far more. Even though I was better at orthodontics, I enjoyed implant dentistry better. And I felt that I can make a more contribution to implant dentistry than orthodontics, right? So there was a space across from my general practice. There was space available for about 3,000 square foot, which at that time I thought it was huge. And me and my manager Tracy, we decided, okay, we're gonna make a commitment. We're gonna start building it. So we started from zero, referral network. Got a designer to design our implant center only, and we did it. That's our current practice that I've been in there for next 12 years or so. Okay, but the hard part was it was in the midst of a recession. Okay, I took out a couple $1 million and built it, and of course no patient, and you turn on the radio, it says we're in the midst of the Great Recession, right? So that was hard. First 1 year, like I came so close from quitting, right? Because we had no patient. The feeling like you go to work and then you finish the work, and then next day you're afraid to look at the next day's schedule because you're worried that there might be no patient. Okay, it's one of those things, right? And because my general practice was across the street, I almost thought about working there a few days a week, but I didn't. I made a commitment that, I'm not going to go back. I'm just going to make it happen. And, we just stuck through it, right? But that was the hard time. That was a hard time because there was a lot of doubt because I was a young a dentist then, and I was a lot of doubt because how can a general dentist, try to have a limited practice in anything, right? So, but that was the most difficult time. But during that 1 year, there's a book that I read that totally changed the way I see things, right? Okay. Yeah, the Temptation was great, man. Temptation was great. Oh, there's also, oh, this is a good one too. Anis, thanks for asking that. Chrysalis. We had to come up with a name. Um, what made me jump in to take a big chunk of loan to start a implant practice was actually the encouragement of my Jewish brother, Dr. Stephen Bongar from Toronto. He is actually the person who started the Chrysalis brand. Toronto Chrysalis started first, and then Vancouver Chrysalis happened. He came to visit me in 2006, and he was looking for a partnership, and we never met before. And then he says, here's a brand. So what is your brand? He says Chrysalis. I said, Chrysalis. I never heard of that brand. I mean, name is weird. What does that mean? And he told me the story. Originally, his brand was supposed to be on Monarch. The butterfly, the Monarch, the tiger shape. But he said he had to get rid of that because he wanted a Canadian brand, national brand. But there is a pediatric center in Vancouver that's called the Monarch. So he had to cancel it and come up with another brand name that's similar to butterfly, right? And what Chrysalis is, in the process of a cocoon, right before the butterfly hatches, it turns into a golden color. In Greek, it means krios. Krios means gold. So it's that transition period from a pupal cocoon stage before birth of the butterfly. So we take that as a symbolizing transformation, right? So we thought it was it was good. I thought it was good, but the problem was a lot of my patients couldn't even spell it properly, pronounce it properly, and they kept on calling it Crystal Implant Center for the first few years. So it's Chrysalis, right? So that's the name behind it. Okay. Yeah, transformation, right? That's the for that. Okay. Yeah. So thanks for asking, Anis. Appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, here's another question was this, right? With all the endless time and dedication, right? How do I make it work with the wife and kids? It's hard, right? It's hard. During my early career, me and my wife, Ginny, we had a bit of an argument, right? Because she had this idea of me coming home from work every day, 6 o'clock, have a dinner with the family every day. Well, that's far from my reality, right? I have so many commitments to my profession, to my teaching. But what has happened over our marriage that she had come to understand that, she can't change me. So instead of going against me and trying to change me, she became my biggest cheerleader. She's fantastic, right? And she just wants me to enjoy what I do. So basically, I'm a weekend father. But during the weekend, I'm trying to be the best father and husband that I can be, right? So we made compromises. I'm a big fan of her as well. I'm the one who supported her to be a PhD because she is such a smart girl. I've known her since we were both in university. Yeah. So yeah, that's that, right? And yeah, then you're the first group of the resident program that you participated. So thank you so much. Okay, I want to introduce guys to one book. Okay. This book right here. Okay. Hello. Oh, did I get disconnected? Oh, here it is. Okay. So, this book right here, rather than recommending you a textbook, okay, a dental textbook, this, in my opinion, is a must book for all dentists. Okay, this and the Sun Tzu Art of War. Okay, those two books, okay, I highly recommend it. This book changed my career. Okay, possibly changed my life. It's called the Blue Ocean Strategy by Chan Kim and Rene Malborg. Okay. During the first year, I had a real challenges. Came this close from closing on my shop because you can only bleed so much, right? When you have no production, right? And you have a constant overhead and the debt and everything, right? I was a $2 million debt. But I came across this book here, and I read it, and it changed the way I see things. I stopped thinking of dentistry for just dentistry, right? I come to realize that my biggest competition is not my colleague. My biggest competition is other big boys like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, cruise liners, those guys, right? Because the problem I felt that was, I was struggling, was that I didn't know how to create my brand, right? Creating the value, the need. So there was a story, long story short, in this book, there is in the first or second chapter, there's a story about a French-Canadian circus during the early 80s, where they basically lost all their job because kids stopped going to circus and watching elephants and chimpanzees and animals because of Nintendo took over North America. Rather than going to circus, they'd rather go play Nintendo at home or go see a movie with the family. So this French-Canadian a clown and a flame blower, these two got together, decided to start their own circus, right? And they created a new type of circus, a high level, a corporate focus. Of course, it's a beginning of the greatest story ever told. Is none other than Cirque du Soleil, right? So when I found that out, I heard that, I gotta create my own Cirque du Soleil of implant dentistry. And that's when I started to have a change, a paradigm shift in my perspectives, right? You can have all the best clinical skill in the world, but if you don't understand what patient wants, right, and what they see as a value, then I will not succeed. So I highly recommend this book here, Blue Ocean Strategies. It's a wonderful, wonderful book, okay? What is your recommendation for those who wish to develop implant practice? Right? I get this a lot too, right? Okay. And it's I can give a lot of different recommendation, and it's not for everybody, right? It's not for everybody. And I'll tell you a little story, right? This is a story between me and Bernard, right? Me and Bernard's story. And how the story goes is, I think it was about 11 years ago, 12 years ago. I don't know, Bernard, if you remember. I asked Bernard, it was one of the very first course that I hired Bernard to teach for Bice Institute, okay? And we went to Kamloops, and we almost canceled that course because the course wasn't filling, right? We only had like 6 doctors signed up for the hands-on soft tissue course. This was like 12 years ago, and Bice Institute was pretty small back then. It's still in an early stage, and Bernard was really good at soft tissue. So we went there, we drove there, we carried the the pig jaw, picked out a pig jaw on the way, put lots of ice, put on my my Akira on the roof. We went to Kamloops, and then we did all the show, and then we're driving back, right? Driving back next day, and then he was asking me a question. I said, Mark, I want to do what you want to do. I want to do implant only. I want to develop my implant practice in my practice, right? So, we pulled over, had a cold drinks, and then I told you, okay, I'll tell you to do 3 things, and I guarantee you, if you do 3 things, I promise you, you'll be able to develop implant practice. 3 things. But if you cannot do those 3 things, then it's not going to work, right? So he asked me, I'll do it. I'm committed, right? So I said, okay, first thing, okay? Yeah. Yeah, you remember that, right, Bernard? Okay, it's a long story, right? Okay. Yeah, we're on a trip. First is, I told him, you need to purchase CT scan machine, CBCT, okay? The reason you need a CT scan machine is not to help, of course, it will help you with treatment planning and, look at the nerves and all that stuff, okay? But that's just the only little part of it. You need a CT scan so that you can use that as a visual patient education tool. There's nothing more powerful than CT scan on the machine. So some of the doctors were asking, okay, what kind of CT scan you should buy? My answer is, I don't care about the resolution. I don't care about the voxel. I mean, they do matter, right? Field of view matters, but the most important is two things. One, the time that takes for the patient to take the CT scan in your office, and for it to download to your computer on the operatory. Okay, shorter they are, the sooner you can project it to your 37-inch TV, and you can show to the patient. Okay, seeing is believing, right? So download speed is important. Second is how easy to see for the patient. Some CT scan softwares are very complex. Okay, too many bells and whistles. You need something simple so that when you show it, the patient knows what you're trying to say. Okay, yeah. So CT scan is very, very important. And at that time, even when I was telling Bernard to purchase it, it wasn't cheap, right? It wasn't cheap. So you're still looking at $250,000, $280,000 for a 8x8 CT scan machine. Okay, yeah. So second was, I told him you gotta hire a full-time treatment coordinator. Okay, yeah. And buy the yes, don't buy the one that we bought, because at that time they didn't have a big field of view. And second was, get yourself a treatment coordinator, a full-time treatment coordinator who's going to see the patient, get to know the patient, who will be able to take the CT scan for you, and who will do the office tour for you, and basically who can advocate for the patient, right? That's treatment coordinator. Treatment coordinator is not somebody who works for the dentist, but their mentality should be they're working and they're advocating for the patient, right? Because the idea is that a dentist, a surgeon can never be a good patient educator. You know why? Because there's a fear between the patient towards the surgeon, because surgeon is the one with the knife. They're the one that cuts. So of course they're going to be nervous, right? But if you have a middle person who can think like a surgeon, right? Who knows what the surgeon, type of surgery they do, but they can explain that in a layman's term to the patient and put the patient at ease. That's treatment coordinator. And I told Bernard, you got to hire that person, okay? And that person needs to spend enough time doing consultation, right? Which is 1.5 hours. So this is very, very important. And of course, the treatment coordinator cannot make up decision of treatment. You do that, right? So treatment coordinator spends about an hour to hour and a half of your time. The last 10 minutes, okay, Bernard will go in there and do the final decision, and treatment coordinator will close up the case, right? That's very, very important in order to increase the case acceptance. If you do it right, like in our office, our case acceptance rate is 80 to 90%. Okay, 80 to 90%, extremely high. And the third requirement I told Bernard is to give up general dentistry. Okay, give up general dentistry. And that was hard. That's the hardest part. Okay. Of course, many of you will not be able to give up general dentistry. Okay, I'm not asking that, but what you need to do is give up a day, or start with give up a half a day. You need to dedicate a segment of your week only doing surgery, right? Or implant dentistry. Anything got to do with implant dentistry, you save it for that day. So it's a level of a commitment that you want to do, right? Otherwise, most of the dentist who does implant dentistry will be just doing implant dentistry as a hobby only during the time that patient accepts the case. But when you have a dedicated blocked off day, what your entire team is going to do is going to try to fill that. Okay, they will take an ownership of it, right? Because you cannot develop implant practice by yourself. I don't care how good of a surgeon you are. There's this misunderstanding that if you're a good surgeon, you're automatically going to have a good implant practice. Wrong. Absolutely wrong. Okay? Yeah, you need a team. You got to be a leader, but you need to surround yourself who will take accountability, take ownership of trying to develop your implant practice. Okay? Yeah. And the fourth thing, if I were to add to the fourth list, right? First is CBCT, treatment coordinator, and dedicate a day. Okay, and then you start build up your day, right? Fourth is stop taking assignment. Okay, that's what I had to do. Because I got sick and tired of patients telling me, is my case going to be covered by insurance, right? So I got sick and tired of answering that. So what we did was we got rid of the assignment. So my answer was, if they ask, is my insurance going to cover? I said, I don't know. You still need to get it done anyways. If they cover, great. If not, you still need it, right? I took that part of the is my insurance going to cover, not cover? I took that out of the conversation. That is something that you guys need to decide whether you can do it or not, because the economy right nowadays is not that great, so may not be able to pull that off. But we did it, and we're never going back, right? Next question was, I have been doing implant dentistry for a while now, taken enough courses. However, I can't seem to get my patients to accept my implant treatment plan. How do you increase case acceptance, right? Okay. Another good question, right? There's a movie that I watched, and it made a significant impact on how I have developed my consultation appointment, how we designed it so that it will have a significant increase in case acceptance. Okay, you know what that movie was? Okay, yeah. The movie was called The Hitch. I don't know if you guys have anybody seen this movie called The Hitch. It's a Will Smith. It's an older movie. I think it's like how old is that? 10 years, 12 years ago. It's about this a guy. His profession is help men, right, achieve their true love. Okay. So he's I don't know, like dating service. Okay. So he coaches helpless men to have their girl fall in love with them, right? And there's a line that he said. There's a great quotes in that movie. Many. One of them was, anyone at any time can be swept off their feet. All you need is the right broom. Okay. It's a dating guru. That's right, dating guru. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for, dating guru. Okay. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. It's a great movie. Yeah, great movie. Okay. Yeah. So after I watched that movie, made me think. All right. What's the right broom for my clinic? So, what I start to do is I start to read, and this is a book called The 5 Principles of Influence. Okay, I think it's Yacardi. This, man, I read that book too, and it's about analyzing people according to their social, psychological behavior, right? So, we started to categorize when a new patient comes in, okay, into 4 groups. Are they amiable type, or are they expressive type? Are they a driver? Okay, are they analytic, right? Okay, so depending on what their social psychological category is, we will change the way we deliver our conversation. Okay, yeah. So our framing of the situation, okay, the right broom to sweep that patient off their feet. So the conversation start to be very, very focused, okay, depending on their type, okay, patient type. That's how we did our office tour, how we designed it, and how we did a conversation, and how we approach case proposals, and that really helped. So go and watch the movie, The Hitch. Okay, and by the way, a lot of the tips that I give you or my experience, you'll be able to use it towards any other specialty. If you want to limit your practice to endodontics or orthodontics or cosmetic dentistry, it's the same thing, right? Creating the need, creating the value, right? Okay, yeah. So that's a great movie, The Hitch. Okay, anyone, anytime, anywhere can be swept off their feet. All you need is the right broom. Okay. Another question I got recently, recently is I'm in the process of adding a dedicated surgical room. Any advice? Okay. Yeah, I have tons of advice because I made a ton of mistakes. Okay. Some of the mistake was that I tried to use my average operatory as a surgical operatory, and the problem was a lot of the operatory that we have as a general dentist is geared towards restorative, okay, drilling and filling, right? So a lot of it was a front delivery, and front delivery is not the, in my opinion, best setup for dedicated surgery, okay. So when I decided to do the designing of the operatory, when I was adding an operatory to my first practice, a general practice, you know, there are a few things that I felt like, you know, it had to have some requirement. One was closed up. Okay, it's nice to have a large enough space, but closed up. And a lot of the restorative operatories that we have in Canada, anyways, in Vancouver, is a semi-open concept. Okay, like a modern concept, but it's not really the best for surgery, right? Okay, so closed up and have enough room, and rear delivery is the way to go. Enough counter space, okay, for, you know, your surgical kit and everything. Okay, those are the important thing, right? Those are the important thing. Rear delivery, closed up, and important is over the patient tray, surgical cart. Game changer, absolutely. Being able to load the cart before the patient arrives. And so what I do is I bring the patient in, put in a chair. I do the local anesthetics, okay, quick look, and then I do the PRF draw right away. And then my assistant drapes the patient, and then the tray that's already set up, all my surgical kit and everything, it just pulls right over, right? Okay. And sometimes I do the surgery, and then by the time I finish the implant placement, my PRF 12 minutes, okay, cycle is done. We make a sticky bone, then I do whatever I need to do, immediate molar socket grafting, immediate molar buccal veneer grafting, and things like that. So timing is very, very precise, okay. So if you guys are thinking about adding a dedicated surgical op, I highly recommend rear delivery, okay, closed op, and over the patient surgical cart. But the problem with surgical cart is, though, you need a parking space, right? So if you don't have enough space in your office to park it somewhere, right, it's hard to implement. Also, you need to preload it. So that means if a back-to-back surgery, you need a 2 over the patient cart, right? 2 of them, right? So, you know, it's the idea that I got from a restaurant. You know, when I used to go to a restaurant, you know, it's so busy, but how they turn around is that basically when everything's done, they just grab the 4 corners and they hold everything, right? And just take it, and then they dump it to the kitchen, and the new a setting comes in, right? And then they lay it out. So it's like 5-minute turnover time, right? So I wanted to do that for my implant center, because when me and Bernard, we calculated our time of surgery, our actual average surgery only takes 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, actual surgery. It's the setup time and the cleanup time that was taking the most. So if we eliminate the duration of time of setting up and cleaning up, we can be very, very efficient with our surgery, right? Okay, so that's how we're building our new practice with a closed up rear delivery, over the patient surgical cart system, and we will be having about 4 or 5 carts, and we'll have a parking space for all of those, right? Okay, yeah, hope you guys are enjoying it. Okay, how are we doing with the time? You know what, I don't want to be too far late. Okay, so I got about 20 minutes. Okay, yeah. If there's any other question you guys want me to fill it in, please let me know. Okay, yeah.
where is this? I'm a general dentist. It is very hard to get referral from another general dentist. How did you overcome this obstacle? Very good question, right? I had to face the same problem, right? When I was a general dentist, I was still doing quite a bit of implant dentistry, placing, a few hundred a year, but I didn't really get much referral from another general dentist. Okay, and one of the problem issue was that I felt was that, and I knew, and Steve Bongard told me, you need to open up your own center, dedicated implant only. And I didn't quite understand that. And what I found out is that general dentists are very protective of their patient. Okay, that's one of the thing. And they feel that if I'm only also doing general dentistry in my practice, they might fear that they might lose their patient, right? But when I'm only doing implant, what am I gonna do? Do general dentistry? Of course not, right? Okay, I've crossed that bridge, never going back, right? So I gave up general dentistry, and I started to get referrals, and my other general dentist colleagues start to give me credit for what I'm capable of doing, right? And also important thing for me was we were able to understand the needs of general dentists better, because I was general dentist as well, and we decided to give our utmost attention to their needs. A lot of general dentists have so many things going on, impression coping and things like that. Sometimes they get lost, right? So what we decide to do is, after the 4 months of healing, patient comes back. So we do ISQ reading. So at that time, our prosthetic team, we take the impression for our referring colleague as well. We give them a choice. Do you want to take your impression yourself, or do you want us to take an impression and send it to your lab? Okay, we can take the shade as well, right? So what would you like, right? And some dentists want to take their own impression, right? Okay, but some of the newer doctors, or the doctors who are not familiar with the system that I use, they're not comfortable with a different system. And before the service, our colleague would ask for me to use specific implant for their patient. Like some doctors say, I only want you to place Straumann, I only want you to place Nobel, I only want you to place this. Because the reason is not because they like Straumann implant or they like Nobel implant. It's because they have the drivers for that system, right? So I told the doctor, okay, what if I take the impression for you? I'll take it for you. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. Okay, I'll take the impression for you. We'll send to the lab, and we'll send you the driver if you don't have the driver. Okay, take that part of the equation, and that really helped. So they take the headache away from the equation, right? Okay, so that was also a good service to provide as well. Okay, but if I were to break down my patient, where the new patient coming from, is it from referral sources? Colleague, yeah, but more than that is my own referral patient. My patient, the repeat customers, many of them are repeat customers. Some of them are come from different city. The longest distance travel for a patient referral was from Germany. Okay, I get patient from Hawaii. I had a patient from Toronto. I have numerous patients coming from Alberta. So patients, loyal patients, they're loyal to you, right? They see the value in that. Okay, so I mean, for us it's easy because we do this all the time. Taking impression takes us 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes. We book that time to assess for healing and ISQ reading anyways. So when we do ISQ, we gotta remove the healing abutment anyways. So might as well, before we put a healing abutment back on, we put a impression coping, take the impression, take the bite, give it to the lab. Okay, and we have an in-house lab. Well, we will be having in-house lab now at a new center, much bigger than our current one. So we'll be able to offer a good quality final crown for some of our dedicated referral network, so which will be really good. That way we have a total control of the quality final product, right? Okay, don't have to worry about emergence profile, how they should be and all that, because some local labs don't know, right? So our lab only does implant, right? That's the only thing we do, right? So yeah, that's a referral from the patient, referral from the colleague, right? Your current practice is still nice and big enough. Why the risk of moving, especially nowadays with COVID-19 and everything, right? So, yeah, I saw this. It was when a COVID-19 hit. I had to think deep, right? Like, is it really worth the time? Is this the time now? And I had to talk with Bernard. I had to talk with Tracy. Like, but my answer is this, right? I've been there, done it. 12, 13 years ago, I opened my implant center in the worst of the economy, and I survived that. I don't think I'm any worse off than at that time, because at that time I didn't have any patient. Right now we have an incredible amount of a patient base, so it's more of taking bigger chunk of the loan. I took out $10 million for this project. Yes, $10 million. Okay. So yeah, it's money, but it's only money. Really, it's only money. For me, it's more than just a business. It's something that I have to do because it's more than just making teeth, and it's not about only me. So it's my next chapter, right? There's a lot of things that I want to do in dentistry. A lot of things I need to fulfill my curiosity. I need still feel that I have a lot to contribute in the science and the art of implant dentistry, and it's something that I've decided I'm going to do. I live by motto: I rather attempt it and fail miserably than later regret, should've, would've, could've, regret. I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. Right? So I live by sword, I die by the sword, right? So that's me. So that's what we're doing. And one of the big reasons why we're moving is because of the R&D center, research and development. Okay, our lab is, we make teeth. We have a ceramist, we have a CAD CAM, we have all this. We have 6 technicians. But biggest reason I started the lab, incorporated lab into my practice, was because there were a lot of things that I wanted to develop. And one of the key thing that we've developed over the last 2.5 years is FP1, full arch. And in my opinion, that full arch workflow is going to change the way we think of full arch therapy, right? So, there's more to come. There's so many things that I want to try out. And in order to do that, I do need a digital CAD CAM R&D center. Right, so that's why. Okay, yeah. You guys enjoying it? Okay, excellent. All right. Hopefully, I'm not boring you guys. Okay, yeah. Ask me more questions if you guys, yeah. Another question I had about a few months ago is, currently I'm an associate. I'm planning on building my own practice from scratch. Any advices? Oh gosh. Any advices? Yeah, I got so many advices. The reason is I've renovated or built a new practice at least 4 times in my career, 4 or 5 times. And every time I do it, I do something I regret, right? I learned my lesson. I've yet to do a renovation or build a practice that I am 100% satisfied with the process, okay? Office renovation, what to do and what not to do, okay? Let me share that. Number one, set your budget. Okay, do not let some dental distributors dictate how much money you should be spending. Okay, right? And if you think that those distributors really care about saving you money, okay, you're wrong. Okay, yeah, they're business people. Okay, spend the money where it's going to have a direct return on investment. Like, spend the money to buy X-ray machine that you want. Spend the money to make a entrance area, reception area look nice. Okay, because it's an image. It's directly related to return on investment. But don't spend so much money on dental chairs where patients only gonna lie down there for 1 hour. Okay, yeah. they keep saying like, oh, it's made out of memory foam, the chair is expensive, it's a state of the art, Mercedes-Benz of the chair. You can, lie there and sleep for hours. Who's going to stay there for hours, right? Okay. So don't buy expensive chairs unless you need that feature. Okay. Yeah. Because I find that more bells and whistles, more things to go wrong. Okay. So buy something simple, save your money, and put in something else. Second is, if you're planning on building your own practice from scratch, hire a project manager. You are not a project manager, and I made the same mistake with this project, this big project, 14,000 square foot practice, and I kid myself thinking that my designer, the team that designed my project, and the dental distributor who I purchased all the dental, and the contractor who's building the thing. I thought they were going to be the project manager. They're not. Okay, they're not. They're in it for their goods, not yours. So you need to hire somebody who will advocate your situation. Pay them good money, 20,000, 30,000, whatever. Okay, but let them oversee, be there all the time. Okay, during those months. Okay, I saved some money by not hiring them. Okay, that's my biggest regret. Okay, biggest regret. Okay, hire a professional project manager, and through them get a designer and pay the designer separately. Okay, separately. Pay them money. Okay, don't go for free designing. Okay, yeah, pay them, and then the equipment list that you get the distributors to bid on it. Trust me, you'll save a ton. You'll save a ton. Okay, keeps everybody honest. Right? I didn't do that, okay, which I should have. I trusted people too much, okay, and I'm paying dearly for it, okay, yeah, dearly for it, okay. So, yeah, okay. So there is some truth to what Jerry has to say, okay, yeah. So, again, okay, no one's gonna care more for you than yourself, okay, and hire a project manager for sure, okay, for sure. Next, these days dentistry is tough. So much competition, economy is down. How do you overcome these challenges, right? Okay, well, I mean, there's always going to be a challenge, but I'm telling you, we are not each other's competition. In my practice, we have like 4 or 5 dentists in my professional building right now, in my current one that I'm practicing. We're not competition to each other. We want each other to do well, okay? My competition has never been another implant dentist. My competition has always been Mercedes-Benz, BMW, okay, these automobiles, right? Because their fee is about similar to my full arch fees, right? Okay, so patient, do they want to spend $60,000 on their new car or $6,000 on their mouth? Of course, they should spend it on their mouth, because mouth is more important than stupid car, right? The stupid car they upgrade every 5 years, right? My patients don't upgrade their teeth every 5 years. Maybe they should, right? So one of the very important YouTube that I've watched that really thought about branding and innovation is this a person named by a guy Kawasaki, right? Guy Kawasaki, right? He used to work for Apple, for Steve Jobs. He was the head of the innovation department, and he talks about the art of innovation, right? And he talks about how the ice harvesters in the early 1900s, and then during the 1930s there was ice factory, and then in the mid 1950s then there's a refrigerator, right? There's a progression of innovation, right? But those ice harvesters did not become owner of the ice factory, and those owners of ice factory did not become the inventor of refrigerator, right? So for me, instead of competing in the red ocean, trying to do what everybody else is doing, because if you're doing everybody else is doing, then that's a competition. But what I believe that what's going to secure my future and my new center is going to be the innovation. Okay, and for example, FP1, that's my innovation. Okay, we researched and developed this innovation, and there's many more to come, right? And innovation, okay, nowadays, in my opinion, is not within dentistry, because so much of it is technologically driven, material sciences. A lot of it is outside of dentistry. Okay, like personal branding, right? CAD/CAM technology, 3D printing. These are not within just a dentistry scope. It's far bigger than that. So I try to look outside the box to look for answers, right? Okay, so to me, dentistry is very exciting right now because of that. And for my career, probably have maybe 10 years left in my career, and during the next 10 years, I think it's going to be the most exciting for me, because it'll give me an opportunity to challenge myself and become really creative for what I do. So that's the exciting part, right? So I'll put a link to this YouTube. That is a TEDx, the Art of Innovation. Okay, if you search it, Google search it, it will give you. But it's an incredible 10-minute, 15-minute talk show, right? Who's this one here? This Bernard said, good question. Depends on the style of practice you're going for. Both Mark and I are IV certified. Was something IV? How critical IV sedation to an implant-only practice? Oh, did somebody ask that one? Anna says, how critical is IV sedation to an implant practice? I've been getting by with oral sedation, nitrous, but for double arch, patient get restless, so planning to move into IV. I used to think that IV was mandatory, and it was initially. Okay, but to be honest with you, ask Bernard how many times I do IV. Rarely. A lot of times, not even once a month. I only save the IV for really super nervous patient. I typically do oral sedation, 1 blue pill. That's it, 1 blue pill. Because an average surgery for our implant surgery takes me like 10 minutes, right? 10-15 minutes, single implant. Anterior implant takes me 30-40 minutes. Full arch, single arch takes me 2 hours. Double arches, you stretch it out, maybe 3.5, maybe 4 hours, right? So, and I don't want patient to be, so heavily sedated because I cannot get the bite right when I'm doing full arches, especially double arches. So I'd rather not do IV, to be honest with you, okay? So I really, with my practice, right, I really don't see the need for IV. But that's for you to decide. Okay, for you to decide. Maybe you need more time to do surgery, and you don't want to drag out the procedure. You want to drag out procedure a little longer, and your patient might benefit from that. Like a Neki, he does 90% of his surgery all in IV, and he dialed it in. On the other side of the page, right? I don't really feel the need for what I do, even when I do double arches. 1 blue pill seems to do perfect, right? Okay. Yeah, and Ryan has a good point too. I've seen more than a dentistry. You work way faster, less stress. Listen to the music you want. Yeah. So again, it's depending what your cup of tea is, right? Okay. So that's that, right? Any other question, guys? Any other question? Right? Hope you guys are enjoying it, right? Hope you guys are enjoying it. My final message for tonight. My final message is, write your own story, right? Write your own brand. Okay, what is your brand? Okay, how do you want to be? How do you want to write your story, right? Because my first 10 years, I was just too busy just being a dentist, right? I was just too busy just being a dentist. I was so tired at the end of the day. And then once I started to build my implant practice, I come to realize it's more than just dentistry. It's about enjoy helping people, enjoy making impossible become possible, being creative, being innovative, and being part of the memory for my elderly patients. Okay, what I have is geriatric patient. Okay, implant practice is geriatric practice, and some of these elderly patients not going to be with us so long. So I want their time at our clinic meaningful, and it's a true blessing. And I want to enjoy my dentistry for the next 10 years, and to write my story, and because that's my brand, right? That's how people will remember, right? No, I didn't say to ditch that. Well, you can have run multiple chairs and still be fast in IV. When Bernard used to do IV, he was super fast. So, okay. Right? So, yeah, there is a need for IV. So, right? Yeah, IV station can be your story too, right? IV station. Just because I don't, it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just that I don't really feel the need. It just takes up time to set up and all that stuff. And, I got to turn my chair around fast. And my patient's surgery is less stressful for my patient than them getting a root canals and other things. That's my opinion, right? I think implant dentistry is far more simpler than doing a root canal and other general dentistry. Maybe because that's what I do, right? Yeah, okay. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay. Bernard's brand is to do a comic relief by Mark Sai. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay. What do we have? Okay. What we have next week is I'm going to go back to clinical cases that I'm going to share with you. Some of my failed cases to that. But today I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was a little bit off the beat, different focus. Wanted to share with you my 25-year experience, what to do, what not to do, what made it work, what I struggled with a lot. But I find that when I share with you guys these things, it's also therapeutic for me as well. Right? Because it helps me to kind of reorganize my thoughts and my stories, right? And kind of put me in a position to where I need to go forward, right? So thank you very much, everybody. If you have any other questions, let me know, right? And I'm here for you guys. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful evening. And I always thank you guys for the support, right? I really enjoy these Sunday evenings. I feel like I'm connecting with you guys. It keeps me humble and keeps me centered. And I realize what a wonderful dentistry profession is. I'm very, very grateful for all of you. You guys take care, okay? Yeah, I'm doing my best, but I cannot build a community without you guys, right? Okay, you guys are the building blocks of what we believe in, right? What we believe in. We might not do things exactly the same way, but I'm a dentist, right? Before I'm an implant specialist or anything else, I'm a general dentist, and I love dentistry like all of you. So thank you very much. Okay, thanks everybody for staying up late. You guys take care, and I hope to see you guys again this next Sunday. Okay, great. Take care. Bye bye.
Yes, finally it is here. BICE Institute Advanced Implant Residency. This 6 days of advanced learning is composed of 3 of the most highly sought after hands-on program. 1. Immediate anterior workshop. 2. Immediate molar workshop. 3. Advanced sinus grafting, the lateral window approach. These courses have been massively updated and upgraded. Each course will take you in depth from fundamental philosophy of concept to breakdown of each of my very own surgical technique and their clinical applications. These include extensive lectures, hands-on exercises, and live surgery discussions. Each participant will receive step-by-step breakdown instructional videos on each of my own surgeries. The entire workflow from consultation, record gathering, digital planning to surgical execution will be covered in depth. This course is intense. It is designed with one goal in mind. That is to enable you to implement immediate therapy and advanced sinus grafting into your own practices. Seats are limited. See you soon.